When the water receded, my boots hit the ground. By late September, the leaves were changing to beautiful hues of orange and red. It was deceptive looking up the Pigeon River into the mountains. It looked very serene and beautiful. But all I had to do was turn around and point my camera in the opposite direction. This is Hartford, Tennessee. It sits between the Pigeon River and I-40. It's an area known for whitewater rafting and camping along the river. A young man in Hartford told me he began placing sandbags at the doors of his business as the water started to rise. The water continued rising, and he began rescuing water snakes from under the deck to keep them from drowning. Then he said a wall of water came down the mountain like a tidal wave. The National Guard came in quickly and rescued people. Members of the town helped the elderly out of their homes, carrying them above the water. Hartford is just one small community along the Pigeon River. The Pigeon River begins in Canton, North Carolina, and is formed by two smaller rivers. It runs for 70 miles along I-40 in the Pigeon River Gorge, ending in Cocke County, where it joins the French Broad River. On its way down the mountain, the Pigeon River removed pieces of I-40, flooded or destroyed homes in Hartford, Denton, Edwina, and Newport, Tennessee, along with many other homes along its banks before joining the French Broad River near Newport. 70 miles of destruction. One resident of the area said her backyard used to be the river. She said the water rose so quickly that there was no time for her family to escape their home. It was like being on the ocean in a boat you knew was going to sink. "70 miles of destruction, but that is just one river. The French Broad River is the one that flooded Hot Springs. It starts in Transylvania County, North Carolina, where two smaller rivers come together. It runs through Asheville, Marshall, Hot Springs, along with many other communities in North Carolina as it makes its way down the mountain. Near Newport, it is joined by the Pigeon and Nolichucky rivers. The French Broad River runs for 218 miles. Roughly 64 miles run through eastern Tennessee. Along the French Broad, there were numerous houses, many of which are now either gone or destroyed. Small towns along this river have also been devastated. What does home mean to you? Is it just an address? Just a house? Is it a place where your children play? Is it where your ancestors lived? 218 miles of destruction. 64 miles of destruction in eastern Tennessee. But that is just one river. In Irwin, lives were lost as people were swept away from their place of employment by raging waters. I-26 was rendered impassable, and patients and staff were stranded on the roof of the local hospital. The Nolichucky River begins where two small rivers join in Yancey County, North Carolina. From there, it crosses the Tennessee line. The Nolichucky River runs for 115 miles through parts of Yancey County into Unicoi, Washington, Greene, and Cocke counties in Tennessee. It joins the French Broad River near Newport, Tennessee. The level of destruction along this river is horrifying. There are numerous small communities, farms, and groups of people living along the river. In some communities, supplies had to be brought in by backpack. Roads and bridges were washed out, and bridges remain down to this day. One family was thrilled to find tents and sleeping bags on a farm that was handing out supplies. This family of 4 and a dog had been living in their car since the storm. Many families had lost their home and their car. Home health nurses were picking up supplies for families stranded in some of these isolated communities. 115 miles of destruction. How do we recover from this? But these were just 3 rivers. I've heard it said that East Tennessee wasn't hit bad. It's easy to look at the fall leaves and think that everything is perfectly fine. But just take a few more steps onto a surviving bridge and look in either direction. The destruction is profound. These are just 3 rivers. Take out a map and put your finger down anywhere on the Appalachian Range in eastern Tennessee or western North Carolina. When you lift it up, you are sure to find a creek or a river. That is what makes this land so lush and beautiful, but it is also what caused such destruction. Sometimes I feel that the problem is so big and what I do is not making a difference. I feel like one of the small stones that was hurled down the mountain and left on the Pigeon River. But you know, with enough small stones stacked on top of each other, maybe we can make a mountain. To those of you who have volunteered your time, your money, and supplies, I thank you with my whole heart. May God bless.